So we really don't know exactly when the new Smash game is going to come out, but when these games initially get revealed, they have some of the biggest hype that builds for any game, especially from Nintendo fans, fans of just any of the specific IPs that belong in the games, any of the third-party games that are revealed to be in it. A lot of people theorize about different gameplay mechanics, and mostly different characters. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. I don't really know the ins and outs of the mechanics, so I'm not going to talk about that at all. I'm going to leave that up to other people. But the characters themselves are just one of the most theorized things on YouTube when a new Smash game is announced. And that's what I'm going to talk about right now. I'm going to talk about not any returning characters. Returning characters are out. So I'm not going to be talking about Snake or any Wolf or any of the other Super Smash Bros. Characters who I would want to see return, or any characters that I think are going to be taken out. I'll leave that maybe in the future. I'll do something with that. Veterans that I want to see come back, veterans that I want to see return to Smash, maybe people I want to see taken out in space for other people. But I'm not going to be talking about that at all. Just completely new characters who have never been in a Smash game ever. First off, the Inklings from Splatoon. They're obviously going to be in the game. They were revealed. Even if they weren't, they would have been one of my top picks. It's pretty obvious that they're going to be in the game. They're one of Nintendo's new IPs. Right off the bat, let's get Fire Emblem out of the way. Not going to be talking about them. They don't need any new characters. They have enough. And let's get Ridley out of here. I'm tired of people saying that they want Ridley in the game. His size would not work in a Smash game. But if you held a gun to my head and asked me what Metroid character that would be the best in a Smash game, I'd say Psylocke. He'd probably work the best with the Smash formula. One really outside-the-box prediction I've seen some people have is Doomguy, which I'm going to rule out. I think there is not one chance that he's going to be in the game. Yeah, I know Snake was in Brawl, but Doom is just like a complete contrast from the kind of game that Smash is and the kind of game that Smash wants to be. Next, we don't have a new character, but a character I want to see get updated. Mario, I want him to have Cappy from Super Mario Odyssey, of course. It would touch up his moveset a little bit. I don't know if they'd get rid of the water cannon or any of his other movesets like the fireball. I can't see them changing his moveset too big, but I want to see an update for Mario Odyssey. Another character I want to see get updated is Link. We could update him to make it look like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Link. Maybe we can completely overhaul his entire moveset. That's what I would really like to see. Just a complete reworking of basically everything in his moveset. His bow and arrow could be his Breath of the Wild bow and arrow, and everything could just get changed. Another thing I think that they could do is Zelda. Also in Breath of the Wild, they could completely change her moveset, her appearance, her ult, everything to match the Breath of the Wild design. Another Legend of Zelda character that people want to see get changed up is Ganondorf. People are begging for a moveset change, and they could make him look like he did in Hyrule Warriors and just completely change his moveset with the two swords and just make basically everything about his moveset and his appearance different and like he does in Hyrule Warriors. Some kind of clone characters, I guess you could call it, could be Baby Mario. I personally would rather have a different Mario character, which would be Paper Mario. I think his moveset could be a lot more different than the normal Mario's moveset and Baby Mario's moveset. I think he would be the best Mario character. Another really requested character is Banjo and Kazooie, which I guess are two separate characters, but they're obviously going to take up one slot. It's owned by Microsoft, though, which might raise some obstacles in trying to get them in a Nintendo game. But hey, they got a Konami game in there, so I'm sure Microsoft would be willing. And if he were to be in a Super Smash Bros. Game, then his moveset would be crazy. There would be the flying with, obviously, the bird. And they would really just be able to do some pretty creative things with Banjo and Kazooie. He's on the top of my list as people I want to see in the game. A character that's just about guaranteed to be in the game, I would be so surprised if he's not. It's a representative from ARMS, one of Nintendo's new IPs. They could go the route of Springman, which I think is the most likely route that they would take. He's like the main mascot of ARMS, and he's like the most recognizable character. They could also very easily go with Ribbon Girl, but what I think they're going to do is I think they're going to have Springman as the main character, like the character that's actually on the menu, and then they're going to have Ribbon Girl as an alt, along with Springman's alts, and each of them would have different colors, and they would be the same character. They could also go with a more lesser-known character from ARMS. Any of these people you see on the screen, or even more, but they're not really as recognizable, so I couldn't see them doing that. A real quick mention is either Toad or Waluigi. Waluigi is probably the more requested of the two to be in a Smash game, but Toad is also a pretty popular request that I see. He's getting the Treasure Hunt game. I don't know if it's a port or not. I'm not quite sure, but that's coming to the Switch. Waluigi has been a assist trophy for multiple Smash games now, but people want him to be an actual character, and I can see either of them making it equally. I'm also very confident that we're going to be getting another Sonic representative, either these three right here, Shadow, Knuckles, or Tails. I would say Tails is the most popular, therefore being the most likely to be in it. Knuckles is a close second. Shadow doesn't have like a crazy recognizable moveset like Knuckles and Tails, but he's also really requested and people really like him as a character. But my number one pick would definitely have to be Tails. He's definitely the most likely. He would have a great moveset. He'd be able to fly with his tail, and he's definitely the most likely to be in a Smash game. One commonly brought up character is a Donkey Kong representative, King K. Rool. There needs to be more villains in Smash games, and people want more Donkey Kong representatives, since currently there's only two. There's obviously Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. People would like King K. Rool because he has a cool design. He could be another big character like Bowser, Ganondorf, any of those like giant kind of like boss characters. And people rule him out because he had a Mii costume in Smash for the Wii U, but I don't think that really necessarily gets him out of the question. There have been characters before that have had assist trophies that have eventually actually made it into a game as a full-fledged character, so I wouldn't rule him out. He'd be a great addition, and it's really what Smash needs, to have more big characters with unique movesets. Another big character that's been thrown around is Crash Bandicoot. People have been saying he's just about guaranteed to be in the game because of his Insane Trilogy becoming a new game on the Nintendo Switch. I believe it's in June or July. So people think, oh, he's coming over to a Nintendo console, then he has a higher likelihood of being in Smash. And he was also, of course, a Skylander. So I think there's a bunch of different things that are all adding up to make it so that Crash Bandicoot is a very likely character to be in Smash. He also just seems like a character, a video game character that would have a great moveset, and his moveset would be very easily implemented into a Smash game. Raymond's kind of a weird character in that he would seem like a frontrunner, but he's very underrated. I think not a lot of people, or at least not to the degree that I believe it should be, want and push for Raymond in Smash, and just Raymond in general. But he is actually my number one newcomer that I would want to see in a Smash game. I feel like his moveset could be implemented amazingly, and very easily, in fact. He's not that different from Crash Bandicoot, like the actual build of him, the animations, the tone of his games, and the tone of his character isn't even that far off from what a Smash game would offer. So it would be pretty easy to actually make that transfer. If you remember back to the hype train for Smash Wii U, there was actually a leak that fooled a lot of people. It showed Raymond in Smash for Wii U, and this was a big deal at the time. People actually, like a majority of the people, assumed that this was real since it was so well done, so well actually added into the game. The person who made this, mad credit, because it looks real. But I was actually very disappointed when he revealed that it was fake and when it was announced that it was in fact fake, but that doesn't mean he's ruled out for the Switch version. He's actually very likely to appear, in my opinion, in either the base game or the DLC. I'm excited to see him, and I would not be disappointed at all. I'm rooting for him. He's my front runner. Rayman Legends is amazing. I even used it for the gameplay for this very video, as you saw earlier. Great platforming game. Rayman Raving Rabbits, absolute classic for the Wii. Shout out to that game. Moving on, another big character, Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight burst onto the indie scene and is one of the probably most popular indie characters and indie platform characters, more specifically. His moveset would be awesome in a Smash game. He already has an amiibo, so he's already on Nintendo's consoles, and he even has an amiibo, so that also increases his chances. Real quick, I want to mention Bandana D. People want another Kirby character, and people think Bandana D would be a great addition. I don't really care personally enough about it to actually push for it and want it, but I've seen a good amount of demand for the character, so I thought I'd give him at least a mention on this list. Back to the Donkey Kong representatives, you have Diddy Kong. Her hair could implement into her moveset nicely, but besides her you have Cranky Kong, which, believe it or not, some people have actually requested. I've seen it on Reddit, Discord. People want Cranky Kong, but me personally, Funky Kong all the way. He is so funny to have in a Smash game. He brings a lot of character, and it would of course be another Donkey Kong character, which, as I said earlier, there's only 2 of them, so the more the merrier when it comes to actual Donkey Kong representatives. Over to the Pokemon side of things, we have the frontrunner Decidueye. He was one of the starters of the most recent generation. I don't know if they're going to introduce a whole new generation of Pokemon with the Nintendo Switch RPG game, or whatever that's going to be. It's like a Pokemon Go hybrid, some kind of RPG normal game. But nonetheless, he would make a great addition. His moveset would be awesome. He could shoot a projectile with his bow and arrow / whatever it is that he uses his feather for. But he's the front runner, obviously. But they could also go the other route with Incineroar, which is also a pretty new character, a new Pokemon, and a new popular Pokemon. He is a fire ghost type, I believe. Fire dark, maybe. But he's kind of humanoid, so that would help his chances at making it in a Smash game, because it would be a lot easier to implement a moveset with a more humanoid figure on a Pokemon. There is also talk that Pokemon Trainer could be returning, and they could bring back the combo character with Charizard, Ivysaur, and Squirtle all in one, and get rid of Charizard as a solo character, which would upset some people, especially introspective. But here's what I suggest. If they want to have a nice balance with the new characters and the old, they could put the 3 starters from the newest generation as the new Pokemon Trainer character. And I don't know if they could do Decidueye, the middle evolution for the fire, Incineroar, and the middle evolution for the water. But if they did it that way, they could have Charizard as a solo character still, and maybe they could get rid of Greninja or something, and then they could have a new Pokemon too. Another character, Blaziken. Blaziken is, of course, humanoid, which also makes it so the moveset would be a lot better. His super could also be Mega Blaziken, much like Mega Charizard, Mega Lucario. He's also just a very popular Gen 3 Pokemon, and he's personally one of my favorites. He would work awesome. I also thought of thinking outside the box a little bit more. From Sun and Moon, you have Tapu Koko, which I know you're probably like, what are you talking about? But he has like the look, and he has the moveset that could make him a great character. Even more outside of the box is Oranguru, I believe his name is. I just kind of I looked through the list, and I thought, hey, if they really want to surprise people, if they really want to throw people off, if they really want to just confuse people, I mean, what better way than this? From Star Fox, you have Crystal with a K. She was a long-time Star Fox character. I personally think I would love to have her brought back into the spotlight, brought back into the limelight, and put into a Smash game to really boost her popularity as a character again. Also from Star Fox, you got Slippy Toad. He'd be kind of a joke character, I guess you could call him, but he could also have a good moveset, and it would actually be pretty interesting. Gex the Gecko, which you're probably like, who? Or you're one of the people who actually played these games, and you're thinking, why? But Gex the Gecko, he's also kind of, I guess you could consider him platforming games. He's one of PlayStation's early mascots that they tried to boost into popularity. Didn't necessarily work, because when's the last time you heard of Gex the Gecko? But I personally think that it would be very funny and pretty awesome, very nostalgic for a lot of people to have Gex the Gecko in a game in 2018, or possibly early 2019. I'm pretty sure Smash is going to be coming out in 2018, but who knows if it'll get delayed. Even further out of the box, depending on how you look at it. Steve from Minecraft. It sounds stupid, but it's a very real possibility. Minecraft is going to be coming to the Switch. It's been on the Wii U, and he could use his diamond sword, and his super could be diamond armor with diamond sword. He could use his bow and arrow as a projectile. He could, like, I don't know, build something. He could do whatever this is. Say what you will about this. Say what you will about Minecraft, but it would definitely bring in a large audience to Smash. It would bring in a lot of new players, whether that be young or old. And he's just such a popular character, it's hard to not see him make it into Smash. He's widely known. But besides that, Cuphead came out 2017, and it was a Game of the Year candidate. You could also have Mugboy, I believe his name was, as a side character, or an alt character. Cuphead was a very popular game and very successful game. Thinking back now, it might have been Mugman. I don't know. Mugboy or Mugman. It doesn't matter. Cuphead would be a welcome addition. He could have a cool moveset with the lasers coming out of his hands, the melee. I have no idea what his super would be, but he'd be very interesting to see in a game. Next up, we got Bomberman. Bomberman is a relatively old character in terms of when he was actually introduced to the media, to the gaming world, but Bomberman could have a great moveset. He already has kind of the tone of Smash in his look, in his animations. His super could have something to do with bomb. Maybe one large bomb that goes off, or maybe a barrage of bombs. But nonetheless, Bomberman would be a great addition into the game. He could provide a very unique moveset with his projectiles, with his close moves, with his grabs. It would be a very easy fit into the Smash game. And that just about wraps it up. Those are all the characters that I could think of. I left some out that I personally didn't want, or that I had no clue about. I know some people were throwing out like Rex and some other characters from Xenoblade. I've never played Xenoblade, so I wouldn't know. Maybe they'd be a perfect fit. Maybe they'd be the best Smash character I've ever seen, and I'm going to switch my mains over to them. But this was me just brainstorming, thinking of characters that I personally know of, that I personally had experience with, that I personally would want to see in a game, that I would like to see make that switch over from their IP over to Smash Switch, pardon the pun. But other than that, that's my wish list. I've probably left out many characters that I either didn't think of or I didn't think I personally wanted in the game. But If you have any suggestions yourself, you know what to do. But I hope you all enjoy your days, and goodbye.